Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, that have not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after.
Our teacher already explained, right? Right, the kingdom of heaven, right? I got a dream just 2 days ago. The dream, the impression is the kingdom of heaven is something to deal with the master seat. Master seat, So, the impression in my dream is, whatever God has purposed, it will come to pass. You don't need to struggle. Because God will know how to teach you. He know how to perfect you. So you don't need to help God actually. You understand? You understand? The more you think you are helping God, the more you are messing up with God. His plan, you understand? And God have to let you get aware of it. You understand? So what it's all about means what now? The kingdom of heaven is like master seat. Let me read, because in my dream it's like this. So it's like effortless. Effortless. So maybe we see the master seat, the seat. But God also did tell me, he said that you must restudy the kingdom of heaven, and I will show you more revelation. Because sometimes you think you have all, but actually there are more, you understand? You only see a part of it, you understand? So the master seat is 2 verses only, right? Master seat is 4615. 4615, that's only 5 verses. 5 verses, right? Master seat got 5 verses. Sinapi. So maybe we will just see what God is showing about this kingdom of heaven. This is a master seat. My impression is that it's come naturally. You don't need to struggle. Okay? Whatever God wants to perfect you, you will perfect one. After all, he's a trainer. You don't need to help the trainer. You just have to flow with the trainer, right? Right? So the trainer sometimes will show you all your weaknesses. Right? Sometimes you are arrogant, right? You humble you, right? Right? You think you know everything. The trainer also will embarrass you, say that you actually know nuts, that kind of thing. Can you understand what I'm saying? When you think you are very righteous, right? The trainer will also train you to expose you that you are not righteous, actually. That kind of thing, Right? So it is up to the trainer, right? The discipline master, right? Right? So we just have to yield, just to come to the realization. Sometimes we can be very cocky, right? Can be very presumptuous, right? So God has to give us a situation to show us.
Point towards me, the disciplinary master.
Right. So we will realize we realize. So why don't we just study these 5 verses and see what's happening? So Scopizo, another song, this is Sinapi. Sinapi is the name of a plant which in Oriental country grew from a very small seed and attained to the height of a tree. 3 meters high. And more. Hence, a very small quantity of our thing is likened to mustard seed, and also a thing which grew to a remarkable size. Okay, the word sinamai, original from sinamai, means to hurt, to sting. To hurt, to sting. Okay, to hurt, to sting. So let's see the 5 verses. Another parable put he forth unto them. The kingdom of heaven is like a grain of mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in his field, which indeed is the least of all seed, but when it is grown, is the greatest among the herbs, and become a tree, so that the birds of the air come and lodge in the branches thereof. So this one of parables, right? So, to be a master seed means to be heard. Right? Right? True lah? So let's go to another one. Matthew 17:20. Jesus said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, you shall say to this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall be removed. It shall remove. Nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. So the children is, the disciples are trying to cast out demons, correct? Correct. Rebuking the devil, right? But they cannot do it, correct? Right. And when they came to the multitude, there came to him a certain man kneeling down to him and saying, Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic and sore vexed, for oftentimes he falleth into the fire and often to the water. And I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him. Then Jesus answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? The word is long suffering towards you. The word suffer means long suffering towards you. Enokomai means to bear with you. Forbear, suffer with you, bear with you. Put up with you. Put up with you. Put up with you. The word is put up with you. And bring him to me. And Jesus rebuked the demons, and he departed out of him. And the child was cured from the very hour. And then came disciples to Jesus apart and said, Why could not we cast him out? Jesus said unto them, Because of your unbelief. So they have unbelief in casting out the demons. Then he said, if you have faith as a grain of mustard, you know why unbelief? I want to tell you about unbelief. Our unbelief comes from the source of our inability. Right? Correct. Most of the time, our unbelief is in our inability. Correct. Of making things work. We always see our ability. Correct. I cannot. That is unbelief, right? God said can means can, right? I cannot. You are saying your inability, correct? Yeah, instead of saying that God said can means that cannot, that kind of thing. Because we are seeing based on the carnality, ability on our ability, cannot, right? Cannot. You got ability, correct? Correct. So we are more carnal-minded, saying on our inability. That's why Jesus said, if you have a faith, as a grain of a mustard seed, I mean you have very little faith in yourself. Correct? So your faith is on that all things of God is possible. I just follow law. God say what must be possible. You don't see your possibility on your side anymore. You understand? Correct? With man it's impossible. With God all things are possible. Correct? So that mustard seed is one that has been hurt or sting in their ability. They no more have faith in their own ability. Just like Jesus said, I of my own self can do nothing. Correct? Yes. No more. That's like Paul said, I boast in my weaknesses. Because the more he boasts, the more God make him very malu, right? Alright, like dung, right? Nobody treated him like anybody, right? Though you think that you know a lot of revelation, you've been to heaven 3 times, or something like that, third heaven, they're coming, correct? He boasts also, nobody will believe him also, right? Because people think like dung, right? You understand? Just like all the humiliation that we go through, you all go through, right? We might really represent the Father, right? Represent Jesus, correct? The Word, correct? The Holy Spirit, right? But somehow God had purposely in such a way, these are all torn in the flesh, right? Correct? Messenger of Satan, right? Correct? To make us really, really sometimes angry, But at the time come, we cannot be angry anymore, right? We just said that it's like this, Lord. God wants to humiliate us, right? Right? Why? So that no one, so that we will already fall on the ground and die, Right? Must die. Right? That is always based on God only, right? Right? Because sometimes we try our best to convince people, right? People are still not convinced, right? Even you are already convincing, he also don't want to convince you. They don't be convinced by you, right? Correct? Correct? You understand? Purposely, right? You understand? To spite you, you understand? Because God purposely do this way, so that you will come to an end yourself, so that it's not about 1 plus 1 equals 2. It's no more. It's 1 plus 1 equals 2s, right? Defend the Trinity, SHEKINAIH, right? If you want to change the person height, you will change the person height, right? Right? Just like my brother, right? My eldest brother, right? Right? He's the one who will scoff me the most. But it's that bad, he asked me to pray for him, right? Forgive him, right? Right? God had spoken to him, right? So it is not about what we're trying, right? It's not we who are runneth or willeth, right? But it's He that showeth mercy, right? Right? He chose to harden, He will harden, right? He chose to soften, He will soften, right? Right? So we must come to a conclusion that God actually rejects the proud but gives grace to the humble. So it's better to be humble than to be proud, right? Why want to be resisted by God and by man? Because this is what happened, right? When you are proud, you are resisted by God, correct, and by man, correct? Because God purposely do this to you, right? Right? So it's good to be humble. That's the reason why serving God is so difficult and wearisome. Because you know why? We are yet to be lowly and gentle. Correct? Correct? So what you have the truth? So what if you have power? So what if you are rich or powerful or miracles, resurrect the dead? If people don't like you, people don't like you, understand? Correct? Can you understand? They won't bow down to you, correct? Even you are truth, they won't say that you are the truth, correct? 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 The only way is you really, really have to be like Jesus, Lord. Then your ministry will not be so weary. So heavy laden. Why so difficult to convince these people? Correct? 1 plus 1 is 2, ma. Correct? But God purposely will make the 1 plus 1 is 2s. Correct? Can you understand?
Okay.
So we have to learn. Submit to God.
I think I found the video.
Resist the accuser. Then they will have to run from you already. Right? So the important thing is to submit to God, right? To submit is to what? Be humble, lah. Correct? So, we ought to be hurt and sting or called afflicted, so that come to the end ourselves. Then, you can cast out demons, whatever you want to do. You after all, is no more strength. Correct? You're depending on somebody, correct? So that's a master seat faith. Master seat faith or the kingdom of heaven is very simple. God is looking for somebody, it's just trust and obey, Lord. Not on yourself, but in the Almighty God. You understand? It's sovereignty, lah. So our own self actually hinder the work of God, actually. Ourself. That's why God have no need for anyone who think there is somebody. You understand? Okay, this is the second verse. The third verse is Mark 4:31. Okay? It's likened the kingdom of heaven. Whereunto shall we liken the kingdom of heaven, or with comparison shall we compare? It is like a grain of mustard seed, which when it's sown in the earth is less, and all the seed that are in the earth, but when it's sown, it grow and it become greater than all the herbs. It's the same, So the angels that come and lodge under the shadow of it, means they were all under you, the fowls of the air means the angels. When you become great, already, correct? Correct? Who grow, correct? All the minister of righteousness, tree of righteousness, the planting of the Lord. Then, all the angels will be sitting under your shadow, right? Right? Under your shadow, means they are under you, There's a parables, Those who humble themselves will be exalted, right? So Luke 13 is the same thing. Okay? Luke 17. If you have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, you might say unto this sycamine tree. Sycamine tree. Sycamino means it's a fig lah. Resembling a fig. A fig is a naughty fig lah. Naughty fig. Be thou rooted Be thou planted in the sea, and it shall obey you. Okay? Then he come with the next verse now. But which of you, having a servant plowing or feeding cattle, will say unto him, by and by, when he come from the field, go and sit down to meat? Will not rather say unto him, make ready wherewith I may sup, and gird thyself, and serve me? Here I have eaten and drunken, and afterwards thou shalt eat and drink. So he's talking about the servant that is plowing, after plowing already. Alright? But which of you, having a servant plowing and feeding cattle, will say unto him, by and by, when he is come from the field, go and sit down to eat? So he said that the owner will not say that, hey, wow, you're so hardworking, come eat together. Servant is servant, correct? You will never ask him to serve a seat, correct? And will not rather say to him, make ready wherewith I may sup and gird myself and serve me. He said, you must serve me some more. After plowing, okay, you go and clean up and serve me. Correct? Yeah, then he eaten, finished already, correct? Till he had eaten and drunken, afterwards he said, okay, go and eat. Correct? Servants are like this, correct? In custom, it's like this, correct? All the servant never. Last time I got maid also. He was taught by the people, correct? Maid agency, correct? Cannot eat, mom, you eat. Right? For us, very good one. We always tell our servant to eat together one. Our maid always eat together one. Eat together, always eat together one. But in custom, they always, correct? They eat finish already, then they eat, correct? Do he thank that servant because he did things that was commanded him? I approve not. Dokio means I suppose not. I suppose not lah. Right? I suppose not lah. Suppose not, right? Do he thank the servant because he did those things? Well, the owner, householder, or the boss. Nowadays, where got boss thank the servant, right? The maid. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Never, right? It's a maid. It's a maid, right? Servant is a servant, right? So likewise, when you have done all these things which are commanded you, say we are your unprofitable servant. We have done that which was our duty. So this is one of the people that is a master slave is actually have no more thinking there is somebody or have a right. He's a slave. It's a slave mentality, you understand? Right. A slave mentality is called a servant of God, you understand? The word servant is called doulos. The prophet, his servant, his doulos, his slave, you understand? So the mentality is like this, Right? So how to be a synepist? A master seat. A master seat is one that has been actually afflicted, and a mentality of a slave. He see himself as nobody, very least. He don't demand his right. Correct? He don't demand his identity. He is not offended. We're not being reciprocated. Correct? That kind of mentality is called master seat. This is the kingdom of heaven. God is looking for people who are really master seat. So that he can exhort you and put angels under you. Why? The angels cannot serve you unless you really have a servant attitude. Servant mentality, a slave mentality. Because the servants are looking at, the angels are looking at you. See whether you can learn how to submit. Right? Here now. So if you don't submit, the angel won't submit to you. No. For the angel's sake, remember they're talking about the wife. Submit to the husband. For the angel's sake. It's written there, right? Let's see. For the angel's sake. So there is a spiritual law. The kingdom of heaven is like this one. No. It's all about whether you will follow his law. So it's something like a protocol of heaven. Right? So, where is it? For the angel's sake, right? What verse is it? First Corinthians, is it? Yeah. First Corinthians 11:10. See ya. Talking about covering, right? Be ye followers of me, even as I am of Christ. I am of Christ. Actually, the word is, be ye follower of me, even as I also am Christ. And now, I praise you, brother, that you remember me in all things and to keep the ordinance as I deliver unto you. Ordinance means the law. The command. Paradoxy. Paradoxy means the transmission. How it was transmitted. It's a tradition. As I deliver unto you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ. And the head of the woman is man. And the head of Christ is God. Every man praying and prophesying with having his head covered, dishonor his head. But every woman that prayeth or prophesies with her head uncovered, dishonor his head, her head. For that is even all one as if, and that is even all one, for that is even all one as if she was shaven. And if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. And if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head for as much as he is in the image and the glory of God. But the woman is the glory of man. And the man is not of the woman, but the woman is of man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for man. For this cause ought the woman to have authorities on her, upon her head, because of the angels. So the angels and demons are watching us whether we keep the protocol. Right? Keep the decree, the ordinance. Right? On submitting to one another, right? Right? If not, they don't listen to you. So become powerless, right? Become powerless, right? So the master seat, the master seat thing is because the disciples do not know the revelation of master seat. Right? I believe this teaching for the disciple is the disciple get to know what is a master seat. That's why he teaches master seat, right? Right? Because the question was, asking why can't we do it? It's we, right? Why can't we do it, ma? Right? Hear us now. So what did God say? Jesus said, you are men of little faith, right? Little faith, right? Right? If you are like a master seat, you will be able to do it, right? But at the same time, sometimes you need to be holy, fasting, prayer. Some cases you need to be holy. If you are not holy, you also cannot. Right? You understand now? You might be submissive, you might be humble, you might be zero self, whatever. But if you are not holy, you also cannot. The power of God cannot flow through you. Right? Okay? What is that? Oh yeah. Oh. Okay. So we understand now. Okay, so it's good lah. It's good that God reminded us. Where is it? So we need, okay, to learn how and practice how and keep the unity how. Alright. Serve one another how. Alright. It's serving God lah, but there is always some submissiveness lah. Right? Okay, Zerling. Finish area. Jose. Jose is like macro type of start writing. It's always testing after testing. Faith to faith. Glory to glory. Getting experience. Getting settled. Getting what is pearl? Pearl. P-E-A-R-L. Wow, pearl of great price some more is the same as Malaysia, Jeremiah. Correct? God is speaking the same thing, right? You want to change the pearl or not? Pearl of great price. Burst out energy. Wow. Burst out energy and as a runner to break your record each day. Oh, each
That's how
time.
we wake people up. Voice feedback.
I read a story about Hitler. Hitler, he's talking, keep people alive throughout one. Because she speak until his speech so distorted. You know, why can really hold people on and people will shout, yeah, you know, that kind of thing.
The spirit behind
You know,
it.
it's a spirit lah, yeah. That's why it can hold people, you know. The whole Christianity follow him. Christianity follow him. Christianity, he never killed Christianity. He killed the Jews. But Christianity follow him now. Oh, because you know, German last time is Christian. Protestant Christian. They feel that it's, don't know why, they all believe him. It's always testing after testing, faith after faith, glory after glory, getting experience, getting settled, getting the pearl of great price, burst out energy, and as a runner, break your own record each time. Break your own record each time. Sounds like the Matrix guy. That even the whole Matrix is not able to hold you up. Wow, sounds like Matrix guy. The Matrix guy in the Matrix, he break the record of the it's impossible to break the other. He break, no? That means come out of the Matrix. Because Matrix got law one, right? He break the record. Not able to hold you up. Be the one to overthrow the architect of this Matrix. Wow, speak like Matrix. You might have seen book Matrix 4, right?
Yes.
So today talk Mandarin language.
Be the one to overthrow the architect of this Matrix. Restore my spiritual Zion. Be my architect of the new millennium. Be champion. Be my victory. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Be free and fly in the heavenly. Wow. How many percent?
She do 100%.
Wow, that's good.
Because she just been cleansed and restored just before this meeting.
Oh, okay. So it's very, very good, very good. Now it's 3 o'clock.
Finish already.
Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people